Welcome to 10 for 10, a series of interviews with personalities and dedicated leaders across the Major Arena Soccer League, which is celebrating its 10th anniversary. I'm your host, Eric Bergrud. For this week's episode, I am joined by Shelly Clark, co-owner and CEO of the St. Louis Ambush. Welcome to 10 for 10, Shelly.
Hey, thanks, Eric. I'm excited to be celebrating 10 years in the league.
That's great. So let me ask you the first question. Shelly, when did you first become a fan of indoor soccer?
Indoor for me happened when I was in college. Had a group of friends that were in a co-ed league and they needed a fill-in and said, hey, why don't you come play? And, I had played recreationally as a kid, and honestly, it's just a fun sport. And so that's where I first got introduced to it. And then everything else has just kind of fallen from there.
So why did you originally get involved in the rebirth of the St. Louis Ambush franchise?
So it actually started, my husband and I have another company that we started about 20 years ago. And as part of our philosophy in that company, it is not only are we, friends with our clients, but we really treat them like family. And so with that, we always look for ways to, touch people outside of business. And we had the opportunity to take some clients who are now our friends to an arena game. It was actually arena football at the time. We had a great time, and when that arena football team was rebirthed in St. Louis, we were asked to become sponsors and then minority owners of that, which eventually turned into bringing soccer back into St. Louis because it's such a big passion here, community-wise, youth-wise. It just has kind of fallen into place. I wasn't ever intending to be, the owner or a CEO of a sports team, but I saw the impact that it had not only on my family, but the other families around us in our community, and I wanted to be a part of it. So here I am.
So as you well know, indoor soccer is a proud decades-long tradition in St. Louis. How do you balance celebrating that past with getting fans excited about the present and future of St. Louis Ambush soccer?
Eric, if I had that answer, I'd probably be a whole lot richer than what I am. It's a balance of recognizing and acknowledging the tradition that's here. You go back to the Steamers, you go back to the Checker Dome with, 18,000 people. And, it's a question of why aren't we there now? And, all we can do is continue to try new things, try and honor that history. Bring back the nostalgia, recognize those people who spent so many years dedicating their lives. And so for us right now, what we try and do is do that by having a yearly alumni game. Every year we invite all alumni players from the Steamers, the Storm, the previous birth of Ambush and the new birth of Ambush to come out, play at halftime if they want to, but come and be acknowledged by the fans. And what it does is it really drums up those memories for people. Folks who are my age are like, oh, I remember when I was a kid and I'd go down to the arena. My parents would drop me off and we'd have a great time. And, it's about those memories. And that's what's important, at least to me. And I hope that by us doing that alumni game every year, that we are honoring those memories and those traditions.
So you mentioned that you and your husband, Will, started business cardinal surveying and mapping more than 20 years ago.
Yeah.
How does your business experience influence your perspective as Ambush CEO?
Eric, I learned a long time ago, customer service and communication is key. And like I said, instead of just treating people like clients, we treat them like friends. I treat them like family. I treat them the way I want to be treated. And I hope that carries over into the environment that we created our games with keeping it family focused, family friendly, something that, parents can bring their kids to for 2 solid hours and not here after 10 minutes. When are we going to leave? So it's really about having a different mindset of making sure that the people that are coming to the games want to come back to the games.
So a totally different kind of question. I've noticed over the years that you've posted team celebratory photos on your social media account after big wins.
Yeah.
As a fan and as an owner, can you describe how it feels to you when the Ambush wins?
I mean, it's a rush, right? I mean, it's a pure adrenaline rush. I mean, that, right? I mean, how fun is it to yell Comets win, at the end of the game? I mean, that's what it's all about. And I think what it does For me as an owner, it legitimizes for the players all the work and the dedication and the sweat and their passion, and it culminates in that moment of euphoria. And as an owner, I love to sit back and watch that come across the players. And even more so, I love to be sitting in the stands and watching the fans go berserk and high five each other and, watch those little kids with the popcorn buckets on their heads go crazy, as their favorite player scores a goal or, blocks, a shot or whatever the case may be. And, for me, it legitimizes all of the hard work, the sweat, the blood, the tears, the money, the resources that we put into this organization for those moments of joy.
You played important leadership roles within the Major Arena Soccer League, including serving on its executive committee. What has enabled this league to remain more stable than indoor soccer leagues of previous decades?
Well, I've never been a part of any of the previous versions. So, my perspective is probably a little bit jaded, but I would say that I feel like we have got owners who are dedicated, who are willing to put their own resources forward for the betterment of the league. And I think when you've got a leadership team who is on the same mindset of, league first over, my team winning a championship. And not that we don't all want to win a championship, we do. I mean, or else we wouldn't be doing this, right? But I think when we come together and can have that common goal, that it brings strength and it brings stability. And from my perspective, that is one of the things that makes us great.
Different kind of question. Do you see the expansion of Major League Soccer into St. Louis and other MASL markets as competition or as an opportunity to grow soccer viewership across the board?
I don't see it as competition at all, especially when you look at the seasons. When you look at the MLS season versus the MASL season, we're opposite of one another. For me, it legitimizes soccer as a sport in our world. I think for a long time, the United States has been lagging behind in recognizing soccer. And I feel like we're starting to catch up on that, whether that's, just exposure opportunities, but, it's no longer just the English Premier League or, watching World Cups. I mean, it is becoming a true passion of our nation. And I think that us having, MLS around just legitimizes soccer in and of itself. And I know that, we're not the right fit for those true passionate, hardcore, outdoor fans, but not everybody is that fan. And we all need stuff to do in the winter. I don't know about you, but I mean, a hockey rink's a little cool for me. So this provides another opportunity. And again, for me, it's about those family opportunities to create those memories. And I really do believe that, our environment helps foster that.
So speaking of stuff to do in the winter, this season, the Ambush added an M2 team, giving younger players an opportunity to earn valuable game experience. What should that tell Ambush fans about your commitment to the future?
Well, I think one of the challenges that we all have is identifying, who's that next star and where is that talent coming from? And, when you compare the outdoor and the indoor game, there's a lot of differences and they don't always translate, those outdoor superstars to indoor superstars. Or if it does, it's going to take some time. And so by us committing to do that second division team, we're providing that opportunity now for those local players to have an opportunity to play at a higher level than what they're going to find, at the rec leagues, to be able to see whether or not it's something they want to pursue as a career. So for us, this is an opportunity for us to say to St. Louis, to say to the youth in our community of, hey, you have this opportunity. Here it is. Come try it out and see if it's got you written all over it.
Yeah. So final question. If you had to pick your favorite moment of the MASL's first 10 years, what would it be and why?
I'm going to pick a probably not very popular moment to say that it's my favorite. And that's only because I haven't won a championship yet. If I had won a championship, then I would obviously be saying that moment. But for me, the telltale moment that has defined a majority of what I've done over the past 5 years was the day that I got an email and a call from the league saying that our season was coming to an abrupt end due to COVID. And when I say that that was my favorite moment, it was my favorite moment in the stance that it has forced me to grow and reevaluate in ways that I never would have had I not experienced that. And what I learned over the course of the next 4 to 5 months was that our ownership is strong and our owners are dedicated. And even during a pandemic, we had 7 teams who came together, who worked collectively to create a schedule, to find venues, to work with one another when the league was really not operating. And in that time of trial, we laid a very strong foundation. And I think that knowing that we have the ability to work together for the greater good is what has defined the path that we're currently on. And I'm very excited about seeing what happens in the next 10 years.
Thank you for your time, Shelly. And thanks to each of you for joining us. We will be back soon with another 10 for 10 interview.
Thanks, Eric.